It's easy to see the benefits of a free market when individuals' pursuit of their own happiness aligns with the happiness of others. As we've seen, markets incentivize us to care about the well-being of others because we can benefit from providing them with the goods and services that they want. A baker earns money by baking bread that other people like to eat, for example. Here, an individual's interests coincide with the public interest. But what happens when the social good and an individual's good come apart? Do individuals still have the right to pursue their own happiness? For example, might people be required to join the military or a national service program for the sake of the greater good? Or are you within your rights to make that decision for yourself? A famous philosophical thought experiment from Robert Nozick spotlights this clash between an individual's pursuit of their good and duties to serve the greater good. Imagine a hypothetical being which Nozick calls the utility monster. A utility monster receives much more utility or happiness from each unit of a resource than anyone else. For example, eating a piece of candy might bring 1 unit of happiness to you, but immense pleasure to this utility monster. So should the utility monster get all the candy? Indeed, suppose the utility monster gets immense pleasure from eating us. Are we obligated to feed ourselves to the utility monster? If your answer is yes, then you might be a utilitarian. A utilitarian is someone who says that you have a moral obligation to do what it takes to maximize overall utility or happiness. But Nozick took the utility monster to be an objection to utilitarianism. He said that utilitarians should be, quote, embarrassed by the possibility of utility monsters who get enormously greater gains in utility from any sacrifice of others than these others lose. For unacceptably, the theory seems to require that we all be sacrificed in the monster's maw in order to increase total utility. I take it that part of Nozick's point is that you might have a right not to sacrifice yourself to the utility monster, even if it's for the greater good. You aren't just a cog in the machine. You have your own life to live and your own projects to pursue. And it seems like you have the right to pursue them even if doing so doesn't maximize total utility. As Nozick says, quote, there are only individual people, different individual people with their own individual lives. Using one of these people for the benefit of others uses him and benefits the others, nothing more. Talk of an overall social good covers this up. On a view such as Nozick's, something like conscription is morally wrong because it treats an individual as a tool that society may use for its own purposes, regardless of that individual's own wishes and projects. Nozickian libertarians believe that each person should have the freedom to make their own choices, whether or not they're beneficial to the whole community. Other sorts of libertarians, such as consequentialist libertarians, believe that freedom is important precisely because it's beneficial to the community. We'll talk about consequentialist libertarians in a later lecture. For now, we'll turn to the libertarian case against egalitarianism.